Shut up and sit down.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Third Shift. It's episode 208. I, of course, am your host, the greatest man who's ever lived, your funky leader. It's me, it's Matt. With me, as always, is my buddy Eric. He's got a big smile on his face. He's happy to see you guys. He's happy to be here for the podcast. Look, I made reality happen, and now he's also happy to tell you how his week was because I'm going to ask him right now. Friend Eric, my dear friend, how was your week this week?
Hey, well, you know what? My week was great. It was a good week. Very good week. I had good week at work. Didn't have to do a whole bunch of nothing till just now. Now it's Hellfire Brimstone, as we just talked about, which is why the smile wasn't on the face for a second, because he was trying to drag me down, folks. He was trying to drag me into the pits, and I said, no, I ain't going to the pits. Not happening. Not happening.
I can't be the only one in the pits, Eric.
No,
Everyone has to be in the pit with me, unless I'm the one out of the pit, and then I go, you guys in the pit are dumb. I don't like that's stupid, man.
I don't know why you're so babies in the pits. Just be happy. We all know that feeling. Everybody does it. Oh, goodness. Hey, I finally built that stinking Harry Potter train this week that I've been talking about and messing with and had bought for the wife for Christmas like a year ago or whatever. It is up there. I got to get decorations and do all that for it, but that train, it chugs across the top of the Harry Potter room. And it does all sorts of cool Harry Potter sounds and noises and chuffs out smoke and everything. And so, wow, it's so neat. It's the coolest. Feel good. You know, one of those things that always in the back of your head, like, you're supposed to do that. You should have done that a long time ago. And you're like, yeah, no, I know. I someday I'll do it. I did it. It's over. Fresh breath, just finally change the tone. Everything's going to be all right. On top of that, I finally got over from Elgato over to the Streamlabs. I reset up the mic. I've got all this stupid crap figured out. Took forever to figure out sound. And as Matt knows, something about me with sound is cursed. Mm-hmm. I can never get sound to ever work with anything, ever. I have to go through 50,000 routes and routes and wires and programs to make sound work. I don't understand what's happening.
Not even Discord, the thing we use every single week. Every time you boot it up, can you hear me? No. Can I hear you? No. It's always the wires are crossed.
Always. Man. Every week. And I change nothing. I turn this off, I go play video games, and I come back next week, and it doesn't work. I don't understand. So I had to do that. I mean, I watched, I'd probably say at least 3.5, 4 hours worth of YouTube videos.
Ugh.
Yeah, just to find one that showed me in a manner that I understood and that was applicable to what I was actually trying to accomplish. That finally was like, hey, do this and do that. I'm like, thank God, where were you the first one I clicked on? Why couldn't we just done it then?
That is always the worst because like you said, stuff that's applicable to what you're trying to do. Mm-hmm. I've gone through that same thing, going through an hour of stuff just to try and get the stream announcements in the Discord. And it's like, oh, click this, and do this, and sign up for this account. No. I want the cheapest and easiest way. And my last one, I'm like, if it's not in this one, I give up and I'm never doing it ever. Boop. Oh, there it is. And it's like a little, 20-second thing. Oh, this is how you do it. There you go. Woohoo. Where was that guy? Where was he? Why is that video always buried?
Exactly. Under the giant overarching, I'm just going to teach you how to generally use stream sort of like easy peasy.
Yeah.
And that's all the videos, like all 99%. And then down at the bottom are the actual, hey, do you have difficulty when you're using this particular part with this particular point to do that? Yep. Hey, that's the one. Yeah. It's crazy. But I did it. I tested it yesterday. It all worked. I'm so happy. I'm not touching a single button, a single thing anymore on it either. It's saying right there, I ain't touching it. Anybody asks me, say, hey, can you maybe switch that? No, I can't switch anything around anymore. It's over. Mm-hmm. Switching days are done. Switching, messing around, nothing. These speakers are going to last me forever.
Well, see, what you got to do now, though, is you got to get your little chroma key background going. You got to get that down.
Right.
You got to change this. You got to up that.
I got to add in a bunch of the cool Aurora lights. Yeah. We'll get there. Someday we'll get there. I had that actually because I downloaded a theme in general, which had like all sorts of crazy crap. I didn't want most of it. So after I got rid of almost all of it, and I was trying to at least keep the picture frame so I could have like a cool little frame on my picture, but I'm like, But I couldn't figure out, in Elgato, you can just shape anything you want, period. There's no stipulation, no regulations. In this, something stupid and easy, but I didn't know. You have to hold Alt down to actually do, like, manual movement. Otherwise, it just does very generic, outboard, inboard, and it's set. You don't actually get to manipulate it. Well, in Elgato, you just do that regardless. And this, you got to hold Alt. Didn't know that. So after, like, fidgeting and screwing with it for, like, 15 minutes, I was like, and done. Just deleted every single stupid little add-on and flare there was and went, here's my picture, here's the system, here it works, I'm done. And then, of course, while watching those 3 hours of videos to try to figure out how to get sound to work, someone was like, hey, if you just hold Alt down, you can actually manually adjust your picture to fit in those crazy oblong-looking little windows, and then that'll get you your cool borders, and then blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, it's too late now. I'm not going back in and trying to find another border.
No, man, just wipe it and reinstall the whole thing. And then try and also figure out the thing you already have figured out and it's set in stone. Yeah.
Which I'll have forgotten. Yeah. And then I'll have to redo it. Yeah, no. We did all that. It's good. It feels good. At least have that back up and running again. Like I said, the Harry Potter thing. And of course, hey, hanging out with the family and doing stuff. Nothing too crazy going on. Canned a bunch of freaking pears and did this and that and pickles and whatnot and the usuals. And of course, game-wise, I went and played some Overwatch with Mr. Matt. We had a great old time.
Oh, yeah.
We are tournament level gold, just gold champions. Mm-hmm. Gold champions in Lucio Ball.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we are. That's what we deserve to be. It's where we belong.
I was afraid when we were playing that because we got halfway in and we're rocking. We're doing great, but we're doing stuff. And then it started to be every match. You're like, man, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this booping. I don't understand how the boop works. Everyone's got to be boops. Got to be booping the boops. And I was like, oh no, it's going down.
He's doing poor. He's not going to make it.
He's getting mad. We're going to end up bronze boys. God damn it. Nope. We're the golden gods of Lucio Ball. That's how we do it.
No, I pulled through. It was going down. And then Matt was like, hey, how about we just say to hell with it and go do something? And I went, no, we're too close. Goose Fraba, it's going to be fine. It doesn't matter. Eric, relax. It's cool. I wasn't even doing terrible. It was just annoying.
Yeah.
Because like half the balls were over to you, over to the other goalie, over to you. And I'm like, can I play? Can I play some Lucio Ball? Or I don't know what I'm supposed to do right now. Just go find the two of the only little jump heads and try to intercept one of the freaking balls flying over my head. That's pretty much all I can do. Goodness.
But then it paid off. We were golden gods. We went hooray. And then I got us into the actual fun Lucio Ball mode. And we destroyed. We ruined people's lives. I don't think we lost a single match. We killed everybody. We mercied every single person.
Slaughtered it. It was bad. I mean, because we went in there and it was already late. It was toward the end of my run, which I laugh at that always because the end of my run is usually about 11:30 or so. I like to wind down so I get a half hour, watch a show, and I go to bed. That's my routine. And I'm always like, yeah, that's because that's what I do, so that's what must be what everybody does. So, of course, I'm like, all right, Matt, it's been a great night. And then I wake up, and every time Matt's, like, posting on Twitter at, like, 3, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, and I'm like, Matt's night just started. Oh, Matt wasn't even close to done.
That did not happen this time. I was maybe up until 1. I settled down and I was a good boy. But there are occasionally those nights when you're just on that rocket ship to the moon. Yeehaw!
Yeah. Oh, I definitely was feeling that one. So I was like, whoo, have to go to bed. Mm-hmm. But it was fun. It was a great time. Also did some Fall Guys. I think I've kind of gotten to a pattern with that. I like to do a couple rounds, and then I usually bounce out. I don't like getting stuck on it because then I feel like I wasted my night. But I enjoy playing, so I want to actually get in there and try. No crowns. I came close again, got up to the top, and I saw the crown, and I was up on that last ramp again on the mountain or whatever it's called. Somebody else just got there and got it, so still chasing it, still going after it. And then lastly, Control, boys and girls. I'm back in that. I was having a rough time. I ain't gonna lie. I was kind of not feeling it. Like, I love Control. It was my game of the year, but I just wasn't feeling it. I was like, man, I do not want to sit here staring at these stupid maps, finding out where to go. It was just, I didn't have my abilities. I was getting shot and jacked up a bunch. I roughed it out, though. And now I'm starting to get everything back. I'm starting to get my health up again. I'm starting to get my powers. I'm starting to be able to throw heavy objects and do all that. And now I'm like, okay. Whew. Oh, it's actually fun again, enjoyable. and I'm on that good roller coaster where the old janitor's talking to me a bunch. I'm finding the threshold kids, and I'm like, all right, now I'm eating the cereal. I'm having a good time again.
I was going to say, because even when I started playing it, because I loved it last year too, it takes a while to get into it. And especially for you, who you aren't starting over because you chose to, you got screwed over and your saves are gone.
Mm-hmm.
It would be like double hard to get back into it. So I'm just praying that never doesn't happen to me. So when I do put that disc back in, it goes, hey, look, hey, here you are. You have those 2 optional bosses you didn't get for those 2 extra powers, but it's still time for control as you remember it.
You're the way you left it, and you just go straight to the new stuff foundation and awe, which is, of course, I think out. I think it was
it's
today.
Out now, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's today. So, man, I'm so sad. I want to play it, but that's what I've been doing. That's my week. What about you, Matt?
In the real life front, I don't really remember anything that happened this past week. It's just been a total blur of just whoosh. You went to work, and now you're home, but now it's time to go to bed and go to work again. Huh? I barely even remember playing video games, but I did play video games. We talked about Overwatch already. You talked about Fall Guys. I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm glad I did get that crown the very first day that I played, because now I don't feel like I have to play it. If I'm just like, I'm in kind of a Fall Guys mood, I'll do 1 or 2, and then I can just bounce out and not have to feel like, oh man, I didn't make it again. It's just kind of like, I just had a goof time. I didn't get close, or I did get close, but whatever. But then on top of that, of course, I've been playing Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been doing all kinds of crazy stuff on my island, but nobody really cares about that. I redesigned like the whole thing on Sunday. I put Animal Crossings in, and I was playing, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I should make this giant field for my turnips. Made this giant field. Maybe I should sculpt the landscape over here a little bit more. Maybe I need to make like a little gym area and put the 2, the workout bros on their houses next to it. And I don't know, it's just fun to go into this game you play every day, you do your dailies, and just be like, you know what? Today, I think I'm going to change everything around. And it's totally cool. And all your animals are happy. And like, wow, that's a great idea, Matt. You're the coolest. And I go, hell yeah, this is how my real life should be.
I'm so amazing. My virtual life is the best life. Just teleport inside of it and you'll be just fine, Matt. Don't even worry about it.
That's right. And another game that, well, I can't teleport inside of this one because I'd be dead. Been playing Hunt Down a lot more too. Well, I say a lot, but like I'll sit down and play it for like 2.5, 3 hours. And then I also like feel good. Like that's my hunt down for the week. And maybe I'll talk about it more on What You Play in Third Shift, because I was going to do like a, hey, Matt's Indie Game Showcase thing, but now it's too late. I feel like it's if I did it, it'd just be like, oh, because Matt doesn't have anything else to talk about. This is what we're going to do. But Hunt Down is kind of like a post-apocalyptic 2D platformer shooter thing. It puts me in the mind of like that old RoboCop game when you're walking along as RoboCop and you kind of shoot up and down and stuff. It's totally cool, totally awesome. It's got like that 70s, 80s post-apocalypse look to it where all the gangs are themed, and it's got a narrator who talks like this, the guy from the movie trailers and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's awesome. I love it. That game is amazing. Like I said, it was on sale on Switch last week. I think it's only $20. I recommend everybody go get it. Everyone should also go get Creature in the Well, which is a hack and slash dungeon crawling pinball game. It doesn't make any sense. You should go watch a video of it. It's really cool. I'm really loving it. That's another game I play for like 2 hours for the week. That's it. I sit down. It's my Switch time. I'm going to play Hunt Down, and then I play Creature in the Well, and I go, sweet. That was awesome. So I don't know, both of them are fun in 2 totally different ways. Like I said last week, I encourage anybody to go check them out. Another thing you should check out is Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered Edition. I know my buddy Eric's dying to tell you all about that.
Oh my goodness. This is one of those funny games. All right. So when I was a young lass, because we're sticking to it.
Wait a minute.
Yes, Matt, it's a running joke. I always say
that's true. You do.
So I bought this game back in the OG days. All right, because I thought Final Fantasy, that you just buy Final Fantasy games. That's what you do because you're an RPG fan. That's why I bought Final Fantasy 11. Didn't know it was an MMO. Didn't understand what MMO was at the time. Didn't really play them. So got into that and was like, what the hell am I playing? Played it for a while. Rabbits kept killing me. Leveled up. Killed me some more. Didn't understand it. Did the same thing with Crystal Chronicles, all right? I bought this game going, all right, a cool new Final Fantasy for the GameCube, This can be the best. Didn't understand it at all. Made no sense. Like carrying around this dumb chalice. It's like, what the hell is even happening? put the game down, never played it again. Totally wasted my money. All right. Then I got older and smarter and started to figure things out. It was way too late. Well, guess what? Bada bing, bada boom. Here we are 1,002 years later. It's Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered Edition developed by Square, out as of today, the 27th of August for PlayStation 4, Switch, and then I think it's iPhone, iPad, I think something like that. Doesn't matter who plays on those things anyway. It's ridiculous. Get out of here. It is an RPG, but here's the deal. The reason why I got so lost on it is it's crazy and way different than any other regular RPG I've ever played. Because you get to pick as a hero from these different races, and some have better defense, some have better offense, some have better spellcasting, speed, etc. You pick from these races that you want to be your hero. Once you've done that, you pop in, you find out, well, hey, look at the world's gone bananas. There's this evil miasma that surrounds everywhere, and the only protection from it is to gather up this like milky magic juice called myrrh or something like that. And you have to take it back to the villages. They put in their little thing, and then allows them to stay alive for another year. So the crystal caravans, and the hunters / whatever that go with them, go out to all these exotic dungeons and places, and they have to retrieve this myrrh milk off of these magic tree things, and then bring it back. And then when you do that, time will pass, and it'll be like, hey, a season's gone by, and you did this and that, and then the next season comes, and you go to another dungeon to find more of this myrrh milk, and you just rinse and repeat. And of course, the story goes along. You'll meet you'll get like random quests on the road while you're on your way to a dungeon to get said myrrh milk, and you can help them out and meet new characters and do certain things. And then basically at the end of the year, it wraps up, and then it's like, hey, this year you met this character, and they helped you do this, you helped them do that, you get the myrrh milk, you're a hero, but be careful, because, oh man, we hear there's an evil big boss rumbling in a dungeon, and so you might go back to the same dungeon next time, but it's got harder bad guys in it, harder enemies, but you get better rewards, better stuff, better gear, etc. Now, what's weird about this RPG is, remember that myrrh milk I'm talking about? If you're playing by yourself, a Moogle carries this little chalice with him, and it's filled with this magical milk. And you cannot go outside of this radius that it puts on you. Otherwise, the miasma just totally deteriorates your life pretty darn fast and screws you over. So if you're playing by yourself, you get no help. It's just you versus the world. And it's extremely difficult and annoying because with the chalice being an issue and with the monsters becoming very difficult. And if you don't know, in this game, you run around and hack and slash. It's not like a item magic. You do have the commands for magic, but it's action RPG basically. Y'all know the deal. So you're running around doing that. You got to stay within the circle. And if you get overwhelmed, you get overwhelmed. The magic of this game is in co-op. And back then you had to like hook up your Game Boy Advances and everything else to play on all your separate screens. I didn't have friends. I've never had friends, so that's never been an option for me ever in my life. So it was screwed. This time around, however, you get to do it online instead of using Game Boy Advances.
Nice.
So you can play by yourself. It's challenging. It's more difficult. It's not as fun. This game was definitely made for you and your buddies to team up and work together. And instead of having a robot AI control the chalice, then a player can control the chalice. You can coordinate and talk to one another and really, really smoke it and have a good time. However, in classic Nintendo fashion, they made connecting with other players extremely difficult. You've got to get to the friend code crap. You've got to do it. You can't, if you're not on the same quest, you can't play together. Every challenge there is in playing co-op, they have it. So they took this game that was supposed to be co-op. You're supposed to just jump in, get an online lobby, play with some friends or strangers, and have a good time. And they just destroyed. They ruined it.
No, see, what they did was they remastered the experience you had before. You couldn't play with friends before, especially because you had to have the link cables and get your Game Boy Advances to plug it all in. So even if you did have friends, nobody's going to have that stuff. I wouldn't have had that stuff, even if we were friends back then. So now you can also not play with friends in an even more remastered fun way. Isn't it great?
Yeah, it is. And then just to top it all off, hey, I got a couple real life friends. How about I just invite them to my house and we can play together? Co-op? No co-op. No localization. no none of that. Online only, folks. I don't understand why they would have done that. It bothers me because this game has so much potential. It's a fun game. And they did that.
So on the Switch, which is known in its ads, you pull off 2 controllers and you give one to your friend. You can't do that in this one.
No. It's fantastic. It's so wonderful. It is. So unfortunately, folks, I want to say give this one a shout. Give this one a try. But the reality of it is if you want to play solo, it's not an issue. But I do tell you, it is difficult sometimes because a lot of enemies do come on the screen. And I remember in my early days of playing, I was just getting wiped out a lot. And now, of course, like I said, I'm all grown up now. So maybe that wouldn't be the case. I'm only going off my memories from back when I played this and whatever the hell days it was. It was sometime in the Marine Corps. I don't remember. But back then, it wasn't for me. It wasn't a jiving with it. And then with its online issues, it's really bugging me. Because this was one I was like, maybe I'll get when it's like, cheaper and I can just bust it up and get online. And I was going to do some lobby stuff and just play with some people. But hey, you know what? If you like playing by yourself or you do have friends who do know how to operate on a Switch really handy and you got the friend codes and things getting passed out and you're going to march to the same beat, not play on your own and get ahead of anybody, give this game a shot.
Sounds like a great game to play with Daddy on your lunch hour.
Perfect. Me and Daddy rocking it out on our lunch hour. Yeah, I am down for that, man.
Now, I got to say, I'm very glad that you went very in-depth with your release this week because mine is a game I can't go in depth with because there's nothing out there about this. Like the game exists and it launched and I went on YouTube like, hey, let me find the IGN review. Let me find any kind of write-up from Push Square or Destructoid or anything. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'm talking about The Last Campfire, developed and published by Hello Games, that came out today. Maybe that's the issue. But usually even stuff that comes out the day we record it, IGN's got their review up, and Billy Bob Sam, who does his indie games, has got his stuff up. But The Last Campfire, if you recall from the halcyon days of yore of Third Shift, I believe this was first revealed at the Game Awards 2 years ago, and it was something that you, me, and Danny all wanted to play because this is... It's an indie game where you are this kind of cute little creature thing. You got like a hood and like little ears that stick out, underneath your hood. You're playing as this creature called Ember, and in the intro to the game, you're kind of like following some other creatures like you on a little rowboat. You lose your oar and you kind of like drift off, and then like creepily some vines close the way behind you. You wake up in this mysterious forest, this mysterious realm where it feels like a land of the dead to me, because you find a lot of people and they're like, oh my God, I finally found another person. And you find a lot of other creatures like you that have gone forlorn, like they're kind of drooped over and they're kind of turned to stone. And so what you do in this game is you explore that land, you meet all kinds of mythical creatures, like there's like a big frog in one of the gameplay things I saw, and you kind of solve puzzles to help out these characters. When you meet a forlorn person, you kind of go into their head a little bit, and the environment changes. You get like a unique little puzzle room. You find that, and you find like a little spark of life, like a little wisp of flame that's kind of trapped away in a cage. So you're pushing blocks, you're, rolling blocks in one of them that I saw, like pushing these big like stone wheels around to open up paths, pushing them into the water to create bridges. When you find that little spark of life, that forlorn person turns back to life. The color comes back to him like, oh, thank you. It's just kind of an exploration / puzzle game. The graphics are really kind of simple, but really beautiful, really cute. The music is really like mellow and melancholy and kind of groovy. So this is my kind of game. I wouldn't say dark, but it has like a dark atmosphere to it. Because like I said, as soon as you wake up, you feel like you've passed on and you're meeting like lost souls who are also trying to pass on. That's the vibe I get from this. Whether or not that's the actual story, who knows? There's literally like only 3 things available on YouTube about this game. It's the actual reveal trailer, the developer telling you basically what I just said. You go through this world and you help people out and you meet mythical creatures. And there's one gameplay bit, 60 minutes of gameplay with a character walking through, the intro woods, finding all the forlorn characters, solving their puzzles. So definitely check out any of the only 3 gameplay videos available on YouTube. Just check it out. Like I said, if you see the graphics and you hear that music in motion, you'll know whether this is for you or not. If you like kind of like those quiet, narrative, contemplative kind of games with a little bit of puzzle thrown in, you're going to love The Last Campfire. I'm still super stoked to play it, but I'm kind of sad that I can't tell you guys how long it is or what people are saying about it, because nobody's saying anything. There's nothing out there, but it looks like it's up my alley. If it's up your alley, check it out. I believe it's out for PC, PS4, Switch, Xbox One. I think it's on Apple Arcade too. It's everywhere. So if you want The Last Campfire, you can get The Last Campfire. Go check it out.
You should check it out, man. And of course, while you're out there searching and finding things, you need to be checking out where the hell them shift codes are, man. And you know what? You're the one. You're the magic man. I'm not the magic man. This is your favorite part of the day.
It's the best part of the show. If you guys could see me live, you'd see the smile come back to my face. Because we got shift codes for Golden Keys and Borderlands, the pre-sequel, and Borderlands 3. So hit up the Twitter, the Reddit, the forums, the Instagram. Hit up our Discord, where our buddy Sean Haggerty posts them in all the time with some cutesy little comments saying like, hey, Matt's the coolest guy I've ever known, but also shift codes are cool. So hit up your preferred shift code provider. Get yourself some free loot in 2 outstanding games. We say it all the time. I love the pre-sequel. I need to be getting back into it. I could get free loot in it this week if I just put those shift codes in.
You should be putting those shift codes in and getting yourself closer to the light. You know what else gets closer to the light? Moths get closer to the light, Matt. All right? That's what.
Not bad. Not bad, sir.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So today, if you don't know, Gamescon's rocking out the ONL, whatever the hell they call it. What's the
Opening Night Live.
Opening Night Live.
I almost forgot.
There you
I
go.
remember.
It took place. I didn't get to watch it all. I was leaving work for an appointment towards the end of it. But I did get to see Godfall's little snippet trailer that they put up here. And I got two minds on this one, all right? They're split 50-50. First off, fantastic. I love seeing these armors and this moth armor. It's called Vertigo or Vertigo. Yep. It looks amazing. And it was cool, too, to see it on a female body type because most of them have been shown on a male body type. So, and I was wondering about that. I was like, are you going to be able to choose male or female or just whatever armor type? You're just going to be a male in that or a female in the other one? How is that going to work? So here we go. We saw a female body type on this wonderful armor, which looks super cool. Totally want it. I was happy that they showcased it. Then they kind of had her like jumping around, killing a couple baddies, and it ended. And I was fine. I was happy, but I thought it was a bad choice for like a world premiere snippet like on this stage because I just don't think everybody knew what Godfall was about yet. So like all these new faces coming on trying to check out what's going on, and it was like Godfall, look at this cool armor, and then a slash and it ended. And I was like, well, that's really weird. It's not like I just don't know if that was the right spot for that particular trailer because if you didn't know what Godfall was about already, you're just like, what in the world's even happening right now? You show me a random armor and slash and walk away. And I was like, well, hopefully it's a lot of Godfall fans right now watching this and checking this out and going, sweet.
I will say you do make a valid point. I didn't see the little Valor Plate reveal trailer at the Gamescom thing because I couldn't see any of it. I caught the tail end. I didn't see it in here. Where I saw it was on Twitter, and I was like, "Hey, look, here it is." So I don't have that at all. But I do agree. If it was just like in the middle of stuff, hey, here's a thing, bloop. Yeah, what they needed to show in that was a snippet from what we didn't get to see, which was an 11-minute interview with our buddy Keith Lee with IGN, where he went in depth on Valor Plates, customization. They showed off a lot more gameplay. Now, I was only able to watch like the first minute and a half of this because I logged into the Twitter account and I was like, all right, I'm getting ready, getting prepped so I could post the show. And it went 11 minutes of Godfall. And I went, oh, wow, why do you guys keep doing this to us? But I will say in that first like minute and a half, they showed a lot more gameplay, not just one-on-one, but one on a whole room of gameplay. And they showed the female body type with a new Valor Plate that I hadn't seen before. And the character who was playing was kicking butt, but then also getting knocked around. And I went, look, AI's here. Oh my God. You can see them actually fighting for like, not like they weren't getting tossed around willy-nilly, but I was like, oh man. So you need to watch that and we need to talk about it next week. Cause it answered a couple of the questions that I had already that we talked about like 2 weeks ago or whenever it was. And
I told you off air, I was super stoked to get to this part. I was hoping they would while I was still at work, listening. But man, that event it went on forever. So I didn't get to see it. I cannot wait because we've talked about it on previous episodes. I want to see the AI actually acting out and going nuts. I want to see enemies on screen. I want to see what that movement, that second-to-second combat's like and everything else. So I'm hyped. Now I can't wait to go watch that video. I'll, of course, go watch it probably, well, not right after this, but, once kids are in bed, etc. I'll probably go check that out for sure.
Yep.
Super excited to see more on it. I hope we do get a lot more, and I hope we can get everybody on board and get hyped. Because, I want a couple games to be excited about this fall that I can play on my brand new shiny PlayStation 5 and just be like, oh, look how amazing this is. Wow.
Absolutely. And speaking of amazing, if you guys have been collecting them Tubbs rubber ducks for the Borderlands 3 characters, this is how I'm segueing and I'm steering it in. If you love those amazing Tubbs rubber ducks, now they've released 2 more. They got Mordecai and Handsome Jack. And I will say, we did laugh when we saw the rubber ducks at first, and we're like, that's kind of weird. It's a rubber duck thing. But on that announcement tweet, someone did reply, I'm like, hey, I got the Mordecai duck just yesterday, and showed 2 more detailed shots of it. And that rubber duck is pretty well detailed. And I shouldn't be surprised because, Funko Pops have really awesome details in them too. Little intricate details in there. So do the Tubbs rubber ducks. I feel like we haven't gotten good enough shots of them or a 360 pan around to see all the little details on them. But they're pretty impressive. So if you like, stuff like Funko Pops or little collectible things like that, Tubbs rubber ducks, as silly as it does sound, they look pretty cool. I gotta say.
I'll give you that. Cool duckies, but there's never an instance where I need a ducky in my life. I don't take baths.
You got 2 girls. You got 2 young girls with rubber ducks.
They don't
in the
take
bathtub,
baths,
son.
No, they don't take baths. They shower. They go in. They get 3 minutes to scrub down. They get 1 minute to rinse off, and they get out. We don't play in the tub.
Was this Marine Corps with the children?
That's what we do. That's how we roll.
If they're not out with 3 minutes, we come in with the hose. We turn the hose on them.
Hey, I come in and I start whooping butts and taking names.
Terrible.
If they
at least had the tubs, they could retaliate. Dad, whap!
Squirt me with around a little ducky butt, whatever it is. Just squirt the water out.
That's how they get you. Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Well, there's no segue, but what we do always talk about is the weekly event in Borderlands 3. It's coming up on the 1st year anniversary, so they've been doing those cool weekly events every single week. This week, starting right now as we're recording this, going through the 3rd of September, it's Mayhem Made Mild. Mayhem mode will only roll easy modifiers for you, no matter what Mayhem you are on. So if you want to brag to your friends like, hey man, I beat Grave Ward on Mayhem 10, and I'm so cool because I got a loot explosion, they'll go, wait a minute, a loot explosion? Did you play that on Mayhem Made Mild? And you'll go, oh man, sorry, yes I actually did. Mm-hmm. But if you're scared of Mayhem mode, if you don't like the mediums and the hards and the very hards, now for a week, it's going to be fun, crazy, easy mode stuff. It's just a fun roll through, a little romp through the tulips with your friends,
This is where I pop back in for sure because the daughter wants to play, so I'm going to get her down here with the controller. We're going to start them new characters, roll them up, play just straight from the word go on Mayhem mode. Except that's impossible unless I actually go on my main character.
Here's what you do. You can re-roll new characters up to, 30 or 40? Something like that.
Yeah, you can, whatever it is that's past the main story, correct?
Yeah, just roll her up a new character that way.
Yeah, and then we can pop Mayhems on, and then we can start rolling through story stuff and having a good time where we're both eating what we're doing instead of me just having her tag along while I go do stuff and she has no idea what's happening.
Yeah.
Which is kind of fine anyway, because I don't really like having her hear anything. So she just sits there listening to her music while I hear the story, because they're constantly saying crazy things that she doesn't need to be hearing. So
this is like that scene in Face Off where they put the kid music on the kid as they're having the big giant gunfight. Imagine her just sitting there listening to Kids Bop,
shooting psychos. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. She might turn out to be a serial killer. That's fine.
Probably, yeah.
It's okay. I am too. I mean,
too am also looking to jump back into this for Mayhem Made Mild, because I will say, I'm not scared of Mayhems. I turn up the Mayhems every now and then, but I miss that loot explosion that comes with Mayhem 2, because it's just fun. It's fun to shoot an enemy in the head and see iridium and money and green guns and blue guns and white guns and maybe even a legendary if I'm really, really lucky. It's just fun to play that way and to see boom, 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 and you have a big firefight and you go around the room and it's just covered in stuff. So to have that possibly roll on every single Mayhem instead of just the 2 that it does, Mayhem 2, and I think it's 7 is the other one where it usually rolls. That would just be fun. That'd make me play on 3 and 4 and 5, whatever those interstitial ones are in between the loot explosions. it's a fun thing. I'm going to be digging it. I'm going to be doing it.
And of course, you're going to be maxing out getting the best of the best loot, which is going to prep you for the upcoming flippin' expansion, man. So I want to bring back our conversation about this, all right? Because we were talking about the Krieg's DLC. What do they call it? A Fustercluck? There you go. Yes, I knew I was...
Psycho Krieg and the Fantastic Fustercluck. Yes. I'm never going to say that again because I'm going to screw it up the next time I say it.
I was terrified from the word go. I was like, I'm not going to say this right. There's no way. It's not going to happen. So we were like, oh man, Mental Mars and Randy, they were like talking about, being badass bunkers. And I said, I don't know, boys and girls. Everything else doesn't point to that. It points to like a claptrastic voyage.
Yeah.
It's a claptrastic voyage. It is not claptastic. I don't know. Say traptic, matrastic. What's words? I don't know. Who cares? You're going out of your mind. That's the whole point of this. You're freaking insane. We're going into the mind of Krieg, which has got a little bit of sane in there and mostly not sane. What'd you think of that trailer, man?
I really dug the trailer. I like the two different voices of it. I like the wildness of it. I mean, this is basically what I thought it would look like. I mean, craziness abounding, a giant Krieg that's yelling at you. It's everything that I did want in it. I don't know. What about you?
I'm stoked because if you listen to the Bordercast and got that interview, they were like, well, this is one of those wonderful times where we can do whatever we want.
Yes.
Because it's not in the reality. It's not part of the lore. This is what Krieg wants, what Krieg sees, which since we know he's half insane, half not, basically everything, nothing's the limit. Anything can go. And he talked about how they're mixing monsters in here. So you got like a skag mixed with this or that, and things just aren't quite what they're supposed to be because what Krieg saw didn't make sense because he's freaking crazy. Of course, there was that awesome thing where Maya comes back and you're like, that's how you get her back in through, of course, her being dead, but Krieg remembers her, and so therefore she's in here helping you out, doing all sorts of cool stuff. I thought that was a nice touch, a way to get a dead character in there.
I was going to say, you see Lilith too. You see her at some point. And obviously he was running around with Lilith if he was your main in Borderlands 2, so maybe you're revisiting stuff from there. But again, a character who's gone, you get to see again in a different form because you're inside Krieg's head, living through those memories.
Exactly. So they're getting to do anything they want. The environments can be as insane, as crazy as you want. You saw the giant Krieg going crazy. You saw the choo-choo train, the Loca, whatever it was.
Locomobius.
Locomobius, there it is. You saw that chugging along. You're going through portals, going to different areas. So by going through these portals, that gives them another chance to just completely change the environment. So you can do a straight up complete wipe and change and go anywhere and do anything you want. And there's the possibility of seeing different places, different spaces at different times. So you could bring back anybody and have some kind of cool storyline with them. Axton could come back. Wilhelm, which we saw, like I said, in a little patch. I wonder what that's all about, if anything. And it was Mitsu, I think, brought up something that did go, oh, you're right. He might have a memory of Handsome Jack and how things went down. Mm-hmm. So maybe Handsome Jack could make an appearance back in this one with you seeing things through Krieg's eyes of how Handsome Jack was. And I was like, that'd be amazing.
Because Max did say there's an area that's all themed around Hyperion and Krieg's experiences with them. So Hyperion, Handsome Jack, it just makes sense. Yeah, everything that he said about this trailer was exactly what I wanted to hear. The fact that they can just go absolutely crazy, the fact that they can change around, play with your expectations, like you said, the enemy combos, just like he talked about even just like the pacing of it, how you usually have like a big action room and then you have downtime to go sort through your loot. How Krieg can just, whenever he wants, in theory, just be like, oh, hey, now it's the downtime. And then a big giant monster came up, and then the poop train came through, or whatever it is. I'm excited to see how it changes up that normal gameplay loop, because as much as I do like it, I mean, you know me, go through Borderlands, get that Borderlands feeling. So anything to shake up that formula, and who's better at doing that than Krieg, it sounds fantastic. It sounds awesome.
Yes, I am very much looking forward to it. They mentioned weapons a little bit. There'll be a ton more of those. The weapon that was mentioned, the only one that was mentioned, was a sniper rifle that drops comets. And I was like, okay. Now, this could be amazing if it's a sniper rifle that you point at the character, and once you have a lock on, you pull the trigger, and then it's like artillery fire. A comet's launched, and then boom. But if it's like a gun that just literally you shoot, and then comets just start raining down at that start, I don't know. It sounds cool, but it depends on how it's popped in there, I think.
The effect sounds really cool. The fact that it's on a sniper rifle made me sigh and wail and gnash my teeth. Yeah, the one legendary I'll tell you about is a sniper rifle. Come on, dude. I never use those ever. Stop it.
I agree with that statement very much. And then, of course, to tie it all back to what I was originally talking about is that I think the misinterpretation came from, because Randy said it before, I believe, is that they wanted this DLC to be in the same category as Bunkers and Badasses, that, that coveted, big, really good, really awesome and meaty DLC. I think that's where he was trying to go with it.
Right.
Like, hey, look, get pumped for this really meaty finale of a DLC.
I've still been betrayed. Mental Mars, I said we had to believe you, and now we don't. Okay. Unless that's DLC 5. I said it could be DLC 5. I said it last week. Now, it's going to be.
Now, here's the deal. Here's the ticket, all right? Are we done? Because Randy also posted, he said, hey, if, and I say if, we did any more content or DLC, what would you all like to see? And then he posed the question like, would you like bigger DLC, like bigger chunk stories, or would you like micro DLC with like little, just additional this and that, additional weapons, stuff. So he had a few of those up, and then it was having people vote. I never saw the outcome of it though, but he did post it out there, just trying to get the interest of what folks would want if they mess with a season 2 of Borderlands 3.
You have to have something because Lilith's on the moon. The moon got blowed up and has a Firehawk symbol in it.
Borderlands 4, man.
No, it's not.
Nothing else for 7 years, and then boom, we'll carry on the story about why Lilith on the moon and go and save Pickles, Athena, and everybody else.
No, you can't do that because we've already established that you can rocket ship to the moon. You could do that before Borderlands 2. You could do it in the pre-sequel. So if they do another 7-year thing, then they can't have the time be relative to how it was. It was already thin in this one. Oh man, it took me 7 years of looking for this map. No way. It took us 7 years to build this rocket to go to the moon to say, no, there has to be more DLC. There has to be. Because they set it up. I mean, didn't Randy Varnell say that when he was on the show? Oh man, there's a lot of things you'd want to see as DLC, and we're totally thinking about doing that. Something like that. That's the paraphrase of the century. There's got to be something. There's got to be at least one big chunk where you go to the moon, Davis Pickles there, you do all the things we talked about last episode.
Mm-hmm. Well, what would you like to see? I mean, we've kind of already discussed it a little bit, but of the mild little chunks, or like just one more big DLC that really goes to town, what would you prefer?
I'm torn. I'm like you earlier. I'm torn 50-50 because I love a big meaty DLC, where they can go crazy. They can make a whole new environment, all new characters, do all the things like every single DLC they've done. It's been great. But I also don't want to wait 2 years for one big DLC. I also like the little individual, like monthly stuff. I like this, I like that. The Headhunter DLCs from Borderlands 2. I loved paying like $2 for those and having a drunken night running around with you having a great time. So I want both. I want everything. Conclude the story via a series of 6 more giant DLCs. But then in the meantime, in that 2.5 years that it takes to drop all those, also give me monthly Headhunter events and seasonal events and takedowns and all the other things. Give me all the things. I want everything.
So, you should have everything. We should all have everything. We deserve everything. But I want them to take Battleborn's ops and really look at what made those amazing and bring them in to Borderlands, because they have the takedowns, but the takedowns aren't quite there. Takedowns are fun, they're amazing, they're cool. It's a really good level setup. The bosses are really cool and fun, but the emotion, the story, the laughs, it's not really there like it was with Battleborn. Battleborn's ops, man, those things were just had you laughing, giggling, smiling, playing through over and over and over again.
And you had to play through them 10 times to get the full story.
Exactly.
As much as I've loved the DLCs they've put out, I can't play through them more than 2 times, or else I'm going to just be like, okay, here's where I walk to town, and I don't know that you're bad. But if you give me like a takedown size thing, but you have the voiceovers 10 different voiceovers. I'm going to play it at least 10 times, probably 10 times after that, to try and find my favorite one again, just like we did with Battleborn. And if you got really good themed ones, it's like Atticus and the Thrall Rebellion. I'll play those till the day I die.
Times. Mm-hmm. I want that. And we know they can do it because they did it with Battleborn. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I really hope the crew over there is remembering that amazing content they did and bring something like that over here to Borderlands, because the characters of Borderlands are awesome. There's a ton of amazing characters, but I feel we always get surface level interaction with most of them. Mm-hmm. And these ops, if they made those, and this is smaller content, it's not, it's a lot of work, but it's smaller content. They could release this throughout the next few years leading up to their giant DLC that would give us the rest of the story they want to tell up till Borderlands 4 if they ever get to it, etc. And that would be perfect. That would be what I would like, because then it's a little bit of both worlds. You're getting a little content here and there, so it's not just deadpan for years, but it also gives them time and people to throw onto the main group making that DLC and have your subgroup wrapping up making these ops every now and again. And of course you could throw in a takedown here and there to keep it going, because the takedowns are really cool. I like the big boss fights, but I want them to get back to that ops again.
Now you sold me. Now I don't even want proper DLCs or little micro holiday events. I just want ops missions. Mm-hmm. Just give me ops missions again. Give me 5 good ops missions. And one that I really, really like. Make one a noir theme. Just do it, and I'll play it forever. So I will never stop talking about it on the show. Oh, my God.
If you remember, we used to talk about it constantly with Battleborn, so you'll get that all over again. We'll be gushing about it all the time, playing it over and over. Yeah, and of course, if you give me one like Inari's, that was so good. Man, I loved her little feedback there. Mm. And the Demon Bear, if you guys remember that one, everybody listening, you played Battleborn. But Inari's just like, he's my friend, and we didn't even have to fight him. Well, it was just the best. God.
Who?
Well, it was What?
You keep calling her Inari. Are you even a Lilani fan?
Oh my God!
Have you played Battleborn, Mr.
What are names? What are names? Okay, that one blue lady who had the fishies.
I love playing as Python, the Snake Man. He likes to do the Python thing.
Well, is he Snake Guy? What is he? Puppet Master? That's what I always called him.
Puppet Master Taunt. Yes.
What are names? Names are silly. We don't need them. We'll just describe them. That's all we need to do.
So, dialing it back to DLC 4, because we got way off track. If you guys want to see more of it, well, definitely check out that interview that the Bordercast did. Check that out. And if you want to see more of it, the gameplay reveal on the IGN Gamescom live stream is coming up in 2 days as we're recording this on Saturday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. I don't care about Pacific time. You guys are jerks. Maybe except for Hunter. You're okay, I guess. But check it out there. That'll be the gameplay reveal. So you're going to be hearing some story, seeing some weird stuff, seeing some crazy psychos riding around on bullets, flying around. And then if you can't wait, after the Bordercast whetted your appetite, IGN soothed it up a little bit. They gave you like a little appetizer bit. If you can't wait for more, you don't have to wait long, because it's out on the 10th of September. It's out just like in 2 weeks, essentially.
Yeah, 2 weeks. And you're playing it. It's crazy. It's wild. And it's going to fly by, because it always flies by.
Now, I will say, I love that they do this. It's not like, we announced the DLC, and in 2 months, can't wait till you get your hands on it. It's always been like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe at the max. Gearbox has done an awesome job with that lately with Borderlands 3. I really appreciate it. I really love it. So props to them for that. And I can't wait to be playing this. I can't wait. I can't wait for that Friday. You and I drinking beers. We're going crazy, and the game's going crazy at the same time. We're not even going to know what's real.
I can't
saw
wait
a purple
to start
flash
yelling
light,
down
man.
here like Krieg. I'm just going, and then when I wake up, I won't remember half of anything. It's going to be the best. It's just the best. Like, it'll be flashes, like you said, flashes, colors, pictures. And I'm like, I totally got to do this whole DLC again because I can't talk about it because I don't remember half of it.
What would be amazing? What would be really, really amazing is if, obviously there's 2 of us and a max of 4 players in a DLC, in the co-op. What would be amazing is if it split the personalities in half. So like you got serious Krieg and I got crazy Krieg.
You were getting crazy.
And it would like split back and forth. I don't know if they could do that, but that would be
dialogue for me is
freaking
totally
amazing.
Different. And I'm like, he just said to do this, so he told me to eat a fart and jump off this cliff. I'm like, well, I don't know which one to do.
Or just like in the middle of the quest as we're running and fighting, hard split. You go into purple world, I go into red world, and now the enemies have changed. Oh, God,
that's getting crazy right there. That's wild. You're going too far. There's no way. That's impossible. Impossible, man. I like the idea, but man, that's too much.
I'm just too excited for this DLC, and I want it to be the best that it can be, which we know it will be, because they always knock it out of the park with DLC 4. Whether it's main team, whether it's Australia team, whether it's this giant conglomeration of teams.
And the history's there. They've done great with all the DLCs, so I am 100% sure we're about to be in for a hot fire of a time.
Absolutely. So you're looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. What about you, listener, out there in podcast land? Are you looking forward to it as much as we are? Let us know that via the email, thirdshiftme@gmail.com. Find us on Twitter @ThirdShiftME. Find us on Facebook under Third Shift. Let us know how hyped you are, because I'm hyped. He's hyped. Are you hyped?
I think he's hyped, guys. Gals, I think he's
Woo!
excited.
I'm crazy.
I think he's super. So look at him go. Look at him go. You know what? If you're so excited and you're over there flanging your arms around, head on over to that Patreon while you're doing it and flong badung your money our way, because we're doing such an amazing job at keeping you entertained that you want to throw and flang that money to us so we can pay these bills. There's a little blue light right up here and it can't stay on unless I have cash. It can't. It just can't. So if you like what we're doing, consider heading over there and throwing a buck or two our way. It's just a little tip jar. Hey, we appreciate it so much. But also, as Matt said, you don't have to even do that. You can just be interactive and tell us what you think of the new DLC. Give us some stuff you want to talk about when we play the new DLC. Do any gosh old thing. We're here for you. We're here for us. Hey, be part of the group. Be part of the conversation. Help us help you.
And help us out by listening to our very next episode, which will be on the 3rd of September. And you can find that episode on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Podbean, on Spotify, and on YouTube. And as I always say, if you like what we're doing and you'd like to help us out, please give us a like, a rating, a review, a comment, a subscription, any kind of good thing on any one of those good services, because it does help us out, and we really do appreciate it.
Indeed we do. And now for a beautiful little song. Five stars. Ta-da. Beautiful.
Not bad. Not bad.
You got to get us 5 stars, boys and girls. Once again, you just got played a beautiful song on my magic fiddle thing. Ah, what a wonderful day.
It's not even a fiddle sound, dude. That's like a flute thing. I thought you were going to go like full on like Green Ranger with your little dagger, but you went like Piccolo style with it. There you go.
Can't get copyright strike. That wasn't 3 seconds.
Can't get copyright strike, and we can't close out the episode without saying,
Don't forget to say.
Shut up and sit down.